The Lenco Bearcat G3 rolls in. As somebody looks out and sees a Ford Crown Victoria sitting out there that may not take you very seriously, Warren County, Virginia Sheriff Daniel T. McEthron told a local newspaper in October. But if they look out the window and see this thing sitting there, they're going to know you're serious. And I am dead serious about this. Armored personnel carriers, armored tanks that can drive 80 miles an hour, pull up here to some gangster thug's house in the hood somewhere, or out at a secret broadcasting compound. You never know. This big, gigantic tank rolls out, and the government now, instead of using this for the military, which they still are, they turn these things over to the local police department. Now, the police department, they'll have backscatter technology. They now have the technology to examine every single license plate that drives by them. They have the ability to tap into a database of everything that you are, everything they can know, everything about you. Facial recognition software, the local police departments are, and we were worried. We get all bent out of shape in this country when we think of the possibility that Army officers and Army men are going to be patrolling the streets of America. I think now we ought to be more worried about just the cops and the technology that they have, the weaponry they have, and now they have tanks. Now they have tanks. They can roll up and they can put a barricade of tanks around your house and so on, and they are nearly in. You can't hurt them if they're inside that tank. But why did we get where we are today? Why do the police even need this? I mean, you remember Mayberry? You remember Sheriff Andy Griffith, who never had to carry a gun. He just used his brain and said, "Come along, let's go." Even Otis, the drunk, he always checked himself in every night. He arrested himself, slept it off, and got up the next morning. And then there was Barney Fife, who carried a gun, but he only had one bullet, kept it in his pocket, ready to go. Those days are gone in this country. Nobody in law enforcement would ever be serious enough to not carry a weapon. I see cops pull people over the highway all the time, and as the policeman will approach the car, his hand is on his sidearm, or right there, ready to go. These people are trained because they never know what they're going to get involved in, and now they have to have tanks pulling up and automatic weapons and guys in black with body armor and helmets and Why is that? Because we're no good anymore. We're no good. Let's go back. Remember, we go back to the Bible. Book of Judges, chapter 4. If you saw our video, The Cycles of Christian Growth, you'll see that I use the book of Judges as an example of cycles that we go in. That we as individual people, as Christians, we go in these cycles. I mean, we're good and holy and right and great for a while, and then we're no good. Okay, and we just go, but God is growing us and He's building us. But what I see in this country right now, I see a lot of, we're just like the children of Israel in the book of Judges. God would do great things for us. We would prosper. God would bless us. But a byproduct of the blessing and the prosperity that God gives us is our own iniquity. It's our own sinfulness. And when I go to the book of Judges chapter 4, the Bible says the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord. That's where we are right now. We are once again doing more wickedly in this country than we ever have, ever. So should we, and I'm an American, I'm a constitutionalist, I love the laws and the freedoms in this land, but I'm telling you that we are a society where most Americans are not deserving of the freedoms because we're not good anymore. We have ceased being good a long time ago. Okay? And that's where Israel was. And God just has a way that when a nation will not be good, when they will not obey and keep God's laws, when they will not honor even the fact that God's laws are right, when they will not honor that, God says, "I'm going to put you under cruel authority." And He did that repeatedly in the book of Judges. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead. Ehud was one of the saviors. He was one of the judges. And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. Remember, Sisera is the guy that, had the tent peg nailed through his skull. He's a picture of the Antichrist. So get this idea. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he, meaning Jabin the king of Canaan, had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. Okay? Now, and I want you to think about this idea. Why are we where we are in this country, and where are we headed? I believe that we're in one of those cycles again where we are so wicked and so vile and so corrupt that God will send in cruel authority. This is why the police departments are the way they are. This is why we have a sort of a military takeover of America without military people. It's done by the local police departments and the SWAT teams and city councils and everything like that. And Department of Homeland Security. That's how it's being done. Okay? And so a new era is coming into America where we will be under the cruel authority of chariots of iron. That's what these tanks are all about. And I think it's going to be worse. I think these 900 chariots of iron are indicative of what we see in Revelation chapter 9. These devils that come up out of the bottomless pit, they make a noise like what? They make a noise like chariots. And I think the cruel authority that is coming to this is far worse than the police departments in this country having armored vehicles. I think it's going to be far worse than that. But it will have the effect, hopefully it will have the effect of causing God's people to cry out unto God and say, God, deliver me from this cruel authority. That's my hope for America. It doesn't have to be the second coming yet. We don't know the day or the hour. Maybe God's going to bring us back around again when we cry out unto the Lord. And I want you to think and pray in that direction. Let's see here. Where's I don't have my cell phone here. Let's pretend that this is my cell phone. And we featured this. We talked about something like this here a while back in the Netherlands. You saw the video, the guy paying for his food with his cell phone. It had the little squiggly, had the Fibonacci whirlpool on it, and he would pay for it with his cell phone. It had a little application on his cell phone. Well, guess what? Guess where the technology's coming from? Guess what it's called? It's called ISIS. The world is going mobile, and ISIS is setting the new standard. AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, all the big three. By bringing together merchants and consumers, the ISIS Mobile Commerce Network will provide an enhanced, more convenient, and more personal shopping experience. Remember, wherever the beast is, that's where she is. She's the one that's bringing it all together. Notice here, by bringing together merchants and consumers. Manly Hall was talking about this whole goddess thing and all these stories where the beast is all chopped up and scattered. And what is her job? She's the one that's gathering all them together like a mother hen gathering her chicks. She's gathering and putting the body all back together. And that's what this article says, or this advertisement. ISIS is bringing together the merchants and consumers. She's putting the body together. She's piecing it together. That's what she's doing, so that no man might buy or sell